How's it going, everybody? Welcome to K6 Outdoors. My name's Kyle. Today we're going to be installing the ECO2S Plus that we discussed in the video above. That is a comparison video of the ECO2S Plus and the ECO2S that I had installed. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I installed this heater. It's quick and simple, and kind of go from there. There is some electrical work involved in this, so if you guys are not comfortable with doing electrical work, please hire an electrician to do this work for you. And just make sure whatever you're doing is abiding by your electrical code in your area. So again, if you don't feel comfortable doing this electrical work, make sure you hire someone else to do this, but it's a pretty straightforward installation. The biggest thing is make sure there's no power to what you're doing, and you should be safe. To complete the install today, we're going to be obviously using the heater. We've got the brackets. We have the bracket for on top of the heater, the screws you'll put in the side of the bracket up here to hang the heater on itself. You have a washer for on top of the heater, and the nut to put it all together. And this just sets up in there. So this will all go together, and this hooks will hook onto this on the ceiling. So I'm actually mounting mine on the wall, so it will hang like this. There's 4 holes, and we'll be using 4 1/4-inch lag screws that I have already pre-drilled into the wall here. Up above there, you can see I've got a board with the 4 holes already put into it. That way I have a good pattern to bolt to, because if you just have a single 2x4 there, you will not be able to attach into it. So I've got the board there. I have my electrical running down here to this. It's a 8-2 wire with the ground, and it's covered in electrical conduit. I can't stress this enough. If you don't feel comfortable doing electrical work, please hire someone to do this work for you. And not handled correctly, obviously you could get shocked and die of electrocution, which no one wants to do. Nobody wants to die when trying to make their, well, in this case, my man cave more enjoyable in the wintertime when it's cold outside. So again, what we're gonna do, we're gonna hang this on the wall, put the 4 lag screws in it, tighten these nuts down on here, tighten these screws down, get this snug down up there, and then using the help of somebody else, get this lifted up top there. It's not that heavy, you probably can do it yourself, but it's always more, I guess, safe to have a partner lift here. I'm gonna do it myself today, don't tell anybody. But again, when you're doing this, always exercise extreme safety. Safety is the most important. Maintaining your health is the most important thing in this. Again, so if you don't feel comfortable doing any of this, please hire somebody to do it. But they do sell these heaters at your home improvement stores, so I think the usual DIYer can do this themselves. So again, let's go ahead and get this installed. I've got the electrical already here, and this flexible conduit with the Romex inside of it. And we're gonna go ahead and hang this off the ceiling and keep it moving. So let's go. Like I had mentioned previously, I already have these 4 pilot holes up here drilled. We're gonna go ahead and drop this up in here next to our conduit we have installed and push it back into place. All right, you can see obviously I had this framed around it when I did the garage. The bracket is the same on the ECO2S and 2S Plus. Now we're gonna go ahead and, using my impact, drive the 4 screws in there. Again, make sure when you're mounting this in the wall, it is in something secure and steady, because you don't want your heater falling off of the wall. That'd be very bad. For the top 2, to get those put in, it's easier to have an extension. I'm using it again on my impact. Use the extension to go from the top and drive them into those holes. You can do this with just a socket too, but I prefer to use power tools where necessary to not have any, I guess, not make myself struggle anymore than I have to. Make sure you pilot drill this stuff, and you will need a board behind that. Again, you can see on top of the heater here, underneath it, we have the washer that comes with it. We've got the bracket here with the hooks to hook on to those screws on the side of the bracket up there. Those ones on each side. And you have to tighten this one down here so you can get the mount for the bracket on the heater. Once you get up there, you just snug those 2 screws in on the outside, and it'll hold it in place and it won't go anywhere. All right, so we're gonna use a 3/8 socket. And we're gonna tighten these down just a little bit so they'll support the weight of the heater. All right, we got them in there a good portion of the way. Go ahead, you can pick this up yourself or use some help. It's not that heavy, and just set it up in here. And it's officially hung on the wall. It's pretty easy there. Now go ahead and tighten down these side screws so it can't move. That's how I roll anyway. And it is officially hung on the wall. Again, I did the wall mounts you'll see here, versus you can hang on the ceiling if you really wanted to. Knock the knockout in the back for the conduit to go into here, but it should all go right together as planned. At least it should. We'll see what happens as we get up here a little closer. Okay, just using a Phillips screwdriver, we're just dropping this bottom screw out, which will open the bottom cover. And voila, you see inside. And we're gonna have to knock out this knockout on this side. All right, we got the knockout out of the way. Carefully put those wires into here. All right, she's nice and secure on there, good to go. It's locked into the back of the box. It's going nowhere. All right, I went ahead and ran the thermostat wire up, I'll show you here, I guess, ran up the wall into this white casing, up into the ceiling, and I ran the ceiling over to the heater, came out of the ceiling there, and then I zip tied it down the conduit here to run into the back of the heater. This is a 25-foot section. I coiled the rest of it up and put it in top of there, right into there. If you guys can see in there or not. I put it there just in case I move the heater or if I decide to move the thermostat somewhere. I'm not short by 2 feet on wire. So I figured just keep it there on top. It's not gonna hurt anything and kind of go from there. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the wires here and we're gonna install a thermostat on the wall. Again, keep in mind this is compatible with any 24-volt wall thermostat. I'm happening to use the one that King Electric sent with the heater. But in the end, I plan on getting an Ecobee for the garage here so I can control the temperature remotely from my phone, as that's the same thing I have in the house, and I really enjoy it. So keep in mind, I'm using this one, but you can use any 24-volt thermostat to control this heater, whether you're using it in the garage, house, chicken coop, greenhouse, any of that fun stuff. That's where you can use it. Again, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can ask a electrician or someone who does HVAC to do this for you. And then keep in mind, this is an option. You don't have to use the external thermostat. I'm just choosing to for my situation. So we got those there. Use a utility knife to strip off the coating. I have a little bit extra here, so I'm just gonna kind of throw it up in there. And then we've got all the wires we need here. I'm gonna cut them off a little bit because they're too long. Using these fancy strippers. This is an 18 gauge 5-wire thermostat wire that I bought, 25-foot section. Again, I'll put links if you guys would like to use these tools below. To my Amazon affiliate link. I really find these things handy. They make stripping wires extremely quick, but not required. You can use conventional wire strippers or a utility knife or something like that. This just makes life quick and simple, in my opinion, is the best way. This up here on the wall, run these wires through it. I'm just gonna tack this on here quickly for this, but I might go ahead, and since it's not gonna sit on there quite flush, I might 3D print a small bracket to put behind this because I'm running this wire through this piece here so I can hide the stuff down the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and tack it on there for now. I'm gonna shim the bottom out. In the end, I think I'm gonna end up printing a small bracket to put behind it. So that way, it'll sit on there nice. Now we're going to shove these shims up behind it. Maybe. Shove it behind that side. We'll do the same thing on this side, the opposite direction. Keep in mind those wires we put in there. Loosen that screw up a little bit. Make sure again we get this square how we want it. And snug these down a little bit. All right, we have around, let's just see if this is gonna snap back on. All right, that's gonna work. That looks good. So let's go ahead and hook the wires up to our thermostat we talked about here, which just plugs into here. So this is how the thermostat ended up being wired. I had my red running to my RH or R port. Again, look at your thermostat settings and how it's recommending you run the wires for what settings, and it'll get you there. The white is running over here to W2 for the stage 2. Blue is running to the C or common. The white is running to the W. Green is to the G, and that's all you got to do. And this is set up. This one we just push this back on there, and the thermostat's ready to roll. Likewise, over here on the heater, you can kind of see up in here, it's a little hard to see. It also has the corresponding letters and numbers that you would match up on your thermostat in the wall. Again, just making sure you're going to the same ports on each end with the same colors really what matters. Although yes, these wires generally have common colors associated with these numbers and or letters. So as long as you know these colors match in each end of the thermostat and then where it receives on the controller, that's what matters the most. We've currently got this set up to run the external thermostat. You need to have both of these switches down to the off position for that to occur. They do have it here on this. It explains a little more. We're dip switch 2. If you want the remote thermostat to be used, they need to be switch 2 needs to be located in the off position for that to occur. And the same way with the display, switch 1 needs to be in the off if you want to use the external sensor, or on if you want to use the local sensor. And likewise too, the control board dip switch, you want to have that onto 1, which is over here, because you want that to be using the 2-stage part of the external thermostat. So again, that's how this is set up to use the remote thermostat over here on the wall. It's in your instructions, and it's also in the back of this cover that you put over the bottom. So this is all wired inside. I ran my thermostat down through here like I told you before, and through a hole in the back, and then runs into here and plugs in. So pretty simple, easy to do. So as far as using the remote temperature sensor, or the egg they may refer to it as, it's really easy to do. It comes with the amount to put on the wall, for 1, and 2, also comes with the batteries you install in the back here. In order to connect this to your unit, keep in mind to use this unit, you must be using the onboard thermostat. You cannot use the external 24-volt remote thermostat for this, and you must be using the internal. So you have to kind of weigh your options of what's more important. Do you want to be using a standalone thermostat, or maybe you're controlling multiple parts of your home system with that one thermostat, or are you okay with using this remote thermostat and the built-in? Long story short, we're going to be testing on both and see how they both work in future videos, but just to let you know, this does not work with both. It must be used with this internal thermostat. It's pretty easy to connect this to the system though. When you do want to use it, you leave the batteries out of the back. You press and hold the start stop button and the down arrow at the same time for about 5 seconds, and it will start flashing ID on this display on the front. When it does that, you go ahead and put the batteries in this, and within a few seconds, you'll see it blink 88. If it's successful, it will be connected to this unit. If not, there's some diagnostics you can do, and it explains to you when codes come up in the instructions. Really easy to do. And then you can place this anywhere in your shop, garage, greenhouse, whatever, if you want to use this. But again, remember, this is not compatible when using a remote thermostat. It is kind of nice too. You can use the built-in batteries. It also has a plug here for a 12-volt adapter. So you can just plug it in and not have to worry about batteries at all. Again, remember, these are not meant, I would say, personally, they're not meant to be used over and over again to be moved. But I'm going to open them until they're about a 45-degree angle. Because I know that's where it's a good spot for this application, the garage. All right, so those are open. In the end, you want to mount your remote on the wall. I grabbed 2 screws, and I pop this baby on the wall for the caddy, and then the little remote that comes with can go right in there. So again, if you're using that versus the remote thermostat, you'll have this on the wall, and then you can control that baby from anywhere in the area you're working at least. So that's basically going to conclude this video. I just wanted to show you how to install this and how you can use that remote thermostat wired into this heater above and kind of get it all driving so it will work. Again, pay attention to those dip switches if you're using it on the onboard or external thermostat, and kind of go from there. And you have to kind of decide, do you want to use the remote temperature sensor, the EGG, or are you more on the route of using the external thermostat? I mean, is that more important for you to use like the Ecobee or Nest thermostat? I mean, you have to kind of decide what works best for you. But keep in mind, like I said, we have the switches inside there. You can easily switch back and forth. But you need to pay attention when you're using those switches. I found out that you must cycle the power after you've adjusted those switches to make the changes occur. Essentially, you need to reset the system so those switches take place. Otherwise, if you just move the switches, it doesn't seem to allow you, it doesn't, I guess, switch between the two modes, between the internal and the external thermostats. That's gonna cover it for today. Stay tuned to a future video here. It's starting to cool off already. It's fall time. This heater will probably be turning on before too long. And I'll show you how this heater works, use some of the different modes on it, show you the modes that it has, what the onboard thermostat can do, how the external ambient room temperature, the EGG, works, and then kind of see what the remote thermostat does as well. See, does one maybe cycle more often? I will look at some pros and cons, but again, we'll cover the main features, how well it performs, and really just get an overall gut feeling to what this heater is going to do out here in the shop. So far, I'm super pleased by this heater. It's just a slightly bit more improved over the ECO2S I already had. This ECO2S Plus model adds that technology, which is pretty cool. Again, check out the links below to the video that I did on this, the initial impressions of this heater and how it compared to the 2S that I already had installed above here. And kind of see what you think. I'll also put links down below to the various tools used in this if you guys want to use, pick up the Amazon affiliate links and help support the channel a little bit there. I get a little bit of a kickback from the purchase, but just remember it's of no expense to you. And I'll also leave you links for the various heaters to King Electric's website and to Amazon and some of your local box stores where you can find this stuff at. Thanks again to King Electric for sponsoring the video. I think this is really valuable information to all of you. Really, I'm trying to learn the hard way so you don't have to. And really, at the end of the day, I want you guys to be informed in making purchasing decisions. And I'm gonna give you my honest feedback on this stuff. And so far, my unbiased opinion about this is that King Electric makes really high quality heaters built in the United States. That USA sticker means a lot to me, and I'll pay the extra bit of money there, which is why on the ECO2S I had installed, I went ahead and paid the extra couple $100 because I know I'm supporting local versus overseas. So thanks again for stopping in today, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Put some stuff down below in the comments. I will do my best to answer as quickly as I can. And if I don't have an answer, I will reach out to King Electric myself and get you an answer. Hit the thumbs up if you guys liked the video. If you didn't, you can leave a thumbs down. That's completely fine. But give me some feedback on how I can improve the channel. Ultimately, constructive criticism makes everything better, and you can always improve, and that's what I'm looking to do. So thanks again for stopping into K6 Outdoors. Hopefully I learned something the hard way today so you didn't have to. My name's Kyle. I'll catch you in the next one. I'll see ya.